Still in Nigeria, its outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari has opened a 1.6-kilometer bridge crossing the Niger River in the southeast of the country. Buhari attended the inauguration ceremony virtually, where it was agreed it would be named after him. It will be known as the Muhammadu Buhari Second Niger Bridge and links the city of Asaba in Delta State to Onitsha in Anambra State. The government opened the Second Niger Bridge for use on December 15, 2022 to ease traffic in the southeast during the festive season. The bridge, which opened for 1 month during the yuletide, was later closed to traffic on January 15, 2023 for the completion of the Loko-Oweto Bridge and link roads between Benue and Nasarawa states. Joining us to discuss this are two gentlemen, Dr. Uche Nworah, a brand and media advisor, and Malachy Ugwummadu, a lawyer. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm going to begin with you, Dr. Nworah. Now, after years of talk under several administrations, the outgoing government of President Buhari finally made the Second Niger Bridge a reality. For you, what's the significance of the completion of the Second Niger Bridge we have right now in Nigeria?
Let me start by, sharing my personal appreciation and saying a very big thank you first to the Nigerian people, because such huge infrastructure is not just for the people of the Southeast and South-South. It's a national infrastructure. And so on that basis, I want to say congratulations to all of us. And then I now want to go, and that's what we call Obekene. Obekene is when you carry a big basket of thanks and appreciation, and I take Obekene and I give to His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. He is the one now that finally has made it possible for people. So some of us that live along that axis, I lived in Anambra State for 8 years before I moved back to Lagos. I know what we suffer, using the first Niger Bridge. So that bottleneck, the traffic wahala, if I have to use that expression, they're all gone now. And again, you're going to see a whole lot of economic activities wake up along that axis. We're talking about Delta State, Anambra State, Imo State, and even going further down to Abia State, River State. People are living along that axis. So we're going to see things wake up economically. So thank you. Big kudos to the federal government.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Nworah. Lots of appreciation to the outgoing administration. I'm going to come to you, Malachy. And despite the significance and some of the advantages that Dr. Nworah has talked about, there have been a lot of politics and political discussions around the project before its completion. Why was this so?
Well, I'm not in the executive, neither am I in the legislature to understand precisely what underscored those political moves and on the current waters. What is important is that there is in existence at the moment a functional Second Niger Bridge, which has been the subject of very unholy manipulations in the past. To be frank, I'm from Delta State. I had course in December to drive on that particular bridge from Delta State to Anambra State. And I like to give kudos to the present administration for giving concrete expression to their electoral promises and to break the jinx, which has made it practically impossible in the long years of the previous government to actualize this. Crystallizing this effort, this initiative, explains in very many ways the very unbelievable narrative of impossibilities as promoted by previous governments. But it is not sufficient to just continue to pour accolades to the government. It is a responsibility that they owe the people of this country, pursuant to the fundamental objectives and directive principle of state policies. And in this particular respect, I am referencing Section 16, Subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, which speaks about the need for the state to direct its policies towards ensuring promotion of a planned and balanced economic development, but in particular, that the material resources, including the financial resources available to the nation, are harnessed and distributed as best as possible to serve the common man. If you put it up,
Malachy, can you hear us? Okay, so I'd like to bring Dr. Nworah into.
Can you hear me?
Okay, all right, please go on.
If we put into consideration the enormity of the suffering of the people from that region of the country, particularly in festive periods, and just oppose it with the relief and the sigh of freedom that came about with the completion of this project, you will know that the government, much as they are, being castigated on so many other grounds, did their minimal best in infrastructure provision. And this should stand out as one of those test cases of where there is the will, there is the way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Malachy. Now I'm going to go back to you, Dr. Nworah. You spoke earlier on about the benefits and how hard it has been without the Second Niger Bridge. What do you think were some of the bottlenecks? I mean, this is not the first time or the first administration that has tried the completion of it. What have been the bottlenecks and how come it's just happening now at the end of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, not being privy internal intrigues, but I mean, from an outsider perspective, I guess I would say politics got in the way, and again as well, probably funding as well, because at some point, they talked about. I know there was a time that the Sovereign Wealth Investment Authority got involved, and I think they're still involved with the funding, and so a whole lot of all that, But I think finally, let's not look backwards, let's look forward. Finally, we have the project; it's been delivered. Kudos to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari. So it's now to see what do we do with this beautiful project that has been delivered to us. I'm happy with that this project finally was delivered in the sense that I recall that after he won that election, there was some statement that he made that, he's going to be there for people that voted for him, something along that line. But again, to see that the Southeast and the South-South have not really been giving his political party the votes, and finally they were able to put down a 330 billion naira project. So I think it's something to be proud of. And I wish the president would stay on a little bit more so that we can see how we can repay him for giving us this project. And having said that, I want to jump on this to also pray that the incoming government is still an APC government. You don't really look at where the votes came from. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all Nigerians. This infrastructure will be used by Nigerians. So please, I want the incoming president also to see how the Southeast and the people of the South can benefit from some of his economic policies. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nworah. As much as you would like him to stay, the Constitution still says 4 years, 2 terms. I'm going to come to Malachy now, and let's zoom in on the performance of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. It's been 4 years so far. In terms of infrastructural development, there's been so much accolades for this completion of the Second Niger Bridge. How would you assess Buhari's administration in infrastructural development?
Well, if you decide to circumscribe your assessment on infrastructural development, then we will deal with it. Otherwise, the infrastructural development is but a limited amount of the factors to be assessed in a constitutional democracy. In short, by far more important than infrastructure are the other elements of democracy that lend credence to humanity, which is the centerpiece of every democratization effort. And in this respect, we are talking about the freedom of association, the freedom of expression, the rule of law.
Malachy, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. The rule of law, the independence of the judiciary, a vibrant and ebullient civil society, and so on and so forth. But I take your point. I want to zero in on infrastructure. Now, the fact that it took PDP 16 whopping years, promising after promising, hoping against hopes, that this particular bridge in particular will come on stream. In other words, will be completed. And that never happened. And having it completed within and during this administration calls for some celebration. In other words, this stands out. Now, with respect to the rail networks, whether across or intra-cities, you could see that there is a renewal effort on those scores. I'm not able to say whether the corresponding initiatives, particularly in respect of security, are adequately provided, because we saw what happened in the Kaduna-Abuja corridor. Now, but you could see that not much happened.
All right, Malachy, you've mentioned the issue of security, and we're looking at the incoming administration. May 29 is just around the corner. Dr. Nworah, you've talked about this, things that the incoming government should do. We're looking at security, looking at economy. What areas would you suggest the incoming administration should consolidate and improve on?
Well, of course, without prejudice to what the eventual outcome of the proceedings at the tribunal, the electoral tribunal will be. At the moment, INEC has called an election, and the president-elect is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we're working on that premise. So first of all, we want to see healing. There's a whole lot of what I say disappointments on the part of so many people, in the sense that what they had anticipated or expected from that election didn't happen the way they call it. So first, I want to see how the government will pull everybody together, across north, south, west, east. People need to come together as one, and then from that point, we'll now listen to whatever economic policies they want to come out with. Because if you come out with economic policies and the people are not jumping onto it, people are not supporting you, I don't see how you're going to succeed or go far with that. So the healing process has to start. We want to see the president-elect, by this time next week, he will now be president. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Want to see his body language, want to see the rhetorics, want to see what he's saying, what is he telling the people, what is he telling Nigerians. We want to also see the people that will be advising him, people that he'll be working with. We don't want a situation where it will appear as if it's only people from a particular part of the country that will be part of what will be happening in the incoming government. We want to see the president-elect, by next week, the president spread his arms. He will be the father of the nation by next week. We want to see him hold them together, bring everybody together, east, west, north, south. And then I think it's about time that we rally around each other. And again, now, of course, the major problem in this country right now is insecurity. Go around Nigeria. I've traveled around this country, and I know that insecurity is one of the biggest challenges that we have. We need jobs. People need jobs. We need businesses to boom. Factories are shutting down, raw material challenges. There's power crisis. There's a whole, it's like Nigeria needs to be reset, if you get what I'm saying. So, and you need the people along, and these are some of the things that I think will happen. And I wish the incoming government well. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Nworah. Lots of expectations from Nigerians. Also, a very big thank you to Malachy Ugwummadu for joining us on NC Continental Prime and sharing so much insights in this discussion. Thank you.